Hi, welcome to the second episode. Actually, it's the second time we've tried this. Yes, it's Stand on Guard with David Krayden. We're going to have a really marvelous show here today. And no, we're not going to disappoint you because I know you tuned in to find out about Justin Trudeau and the Trudeau Foundation and about Joe Biden and announcing for presidency. So you're not going to be disappointed. Maybe they're beginning to realize that Justin Trudeau is responsible for all this trouble. Yes, Justin Trudeau might be responsible for the whole thing. But of course, he's backing away from this latest scandal, and Justin Trudeau seems to have a knack for backing into scandals. And despite all of that, he's still prime minister. I don't understand that either, but he's still there. And somehow he's managed to weather the storm. But he's got another charity scandal coming. Remember the We scandal? Yeah. And remember how he was involved with putting money towards this We charity? Well, this might be even better. And now we know that the Trudeau Foundation, which is named after his father. It's not technically. I'll give him that. It's not the Justin Trudeau Foundation or La Fondation de Trudeau. It's named after his father, Pierre Trudeau, who I thought was a pretty dangerous man, but I think Justin's a much more dangerous man than his father ever was. But the point is here, Justin Trudeau comes to the defense of the Trudeau Foundation when every one of its board of directors, including its CEO, resigned yesterday. And we're talking here, for Thursday. And okay, it was this week. But everybody resigned. And why? Because they couldn't decide who they gave the money to China to. It all had something to do with giving money to China and this individual who allegedly picked it up. But they all resigned because they didn't know who they gave the money to. So what's going on with this? And what's even more funny is that, Trudeau, just watch the clip.
Will you continue to appoint people connected to the foundation to do work for your government?
Those people who are trying to get short-term political gain by increasing polarization and partisanship in this country, by launching completely unfounded and ungrounded attacks against charities or foundations, must not succeed. Canada is a place where we support good works of all different types, and we need to continue to do that. I have no doubt that the Trudeau Foundation, like foundations and charities that conservative politicians have attacked in the past, will continue to do the excellent work that it will do. But as I've said many times, it's a foundation in my father's name that I have no direct or indirect connection with.
Okay. What did we learn from this little clip here? First of all, Justin Trudeau knows all about the people on the Trudeau Foundation, except he ends the conversation by saying he has no connection to it. So how does he know? How does Justin Trudeau know one way or the other, whether these are people who can be trusted or not? And by the way, I must say, I put my hand out to these people who, on the Trudeau Foundation, who resigned. At least they have the guts and the principle to resign. But does Justin Trudeau have either of those principles to resign? No, he doesn't. He says the impossible. He says, first of all, it's all wrong, even though I'm not a member of the foundation and I have nothing to do with it. I have no knowledge of the foundation, but I know somehow the story's wrong, even though it's been reported by media agencies that are always friendly to Justin Trudeau. So that doesn't look very good to me. And secondly, he goes on to say that, I'm sorry, I can't explain what's going on here because I have nothing to do with the foundation. And then he goes out by saying, I have nothing to do with the foundation. So why do you believe this nonsense? And he talks about the people complaining about as those people. Every time Justin Trudeau has a problem with anybody in this country, you're those people. You're those homophobes. You're those nasty fascists. You're those racists. Yeah, coming from a guy who did blackface for most of his adult life, what a joke. I mean, let's face it. This man is a manufactured politician who was there only because of his name. And he somehow has survived this long only because of his name. I mean, that is a strategic crisis in this country. We should not have somebody leading the country only because of his name. His father, I had problems with, and I grew up in a small part of my life with his father. But his father at least had intelligence and some conviction. This man, his son, has no conviction and very little real intelligence. And it's very scary when he's let alone without the talking points. So, do I think there's a problem here? Yes, I do. Yeah. And in fact, I just reported on a story today that reveals how crazy this is. Remember that shooting in Nova Scotia about 3 years ago now? So, some crazy guy went nuts, shot 22 people. So they had not a royal commission, but they had a commission commissioned by Justin Trudeau's government about this. And I just wrote a story about this for the Post Millennial. And guess what they found out? The guy was white. Yeah, we already knew that. And because he was white, he thought he had white privilege, and that enabled him to shoot all these people. Yeah, that's crazy. So how come everybody who's white isn't going crazy every day and killing 22 people? This is how stupid these government reports can be. I would remind you, actually, that in 1935, the government of Mackenzie King struck a royal commission to find out why they were in the midst of a Great Depression. It was called the Royal Surwa Commission. They came back 5 years later with all kinds of recommendations about how to alleviate the Great Depression. Problem was, the Great Depression was over. We were in the beginning of the Second World War. So that's how commissions work. They're usually run by governments, and they come up with responses that are not just meaningless, but sometimes stupid. And this commission came up with a completely ridiculous set of things. First of all, they keep calling this guy the perpetrator, the guy who shot 22 people. He's the perpetrator, okay? And he shot them because he was white. And they're also recommending, in the future, how do we deal with this? We don't put these guys in jail. We do, what is that called now? When you anti-crime? No, that's not quite it. You encourage people not to be criminals. Yeah, okay, yeah. And that's not going to quite work with people like that. So anyway, another $48 million the drain. And it goes on and on in Canada. I must say, though, the United States is crazier. And as much as I would like to say it's not true, the United States is crazier than Canada. You know why? Because they have a nutcake in charge. They've got a president who even decides sometimes what his name is. But here he is with his good wife, Jill, on Easter Sunday, doing the annual roller roller egg hunt on Capitol Hill, and he decides to announce he's running.
At least three or four more Easter egg rolls.
At least 3 or 4 more.
Maybe 5.
Maybe 5.
maybe 6.
So
what the hell?
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
Well, I plan on running now, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
Okay, I really want to know what Jill Biden is thinking there, because she's obviously wondering what the heck is going on here. But she's doing her best to look like a team player. And of course, that's what you have to do with the Joe Biden team. You have to be a team player, or otherwise you're gonna be out 10-0 very, very quickly. But the thing is here, Joe Biden has actually, for the first time, said he's going to run for president in 2024. I don't know who this reporter is, and he's somebody who was on the lawn on the Easter egg hunt, and he got the biggest scoop of his life, possibly, except that Biden's announced it before, but probably could be, and he'll announce it again in a very separate space. Now, do you think the Democrats really want Joe Biden to run in 2024? I don't think so. He is so far gone in terms of his ability to respond to questions when he's actually asked questions in real time. Yes, he can rehearse. You can rehearse the guy, and he can answer a question if he's given the answer, but he can't answer a question. But this is, of course, that's how exactly he ran the last campaign. He was in his bunker in his hometown, not being able to answer the questions. And and there he was. He was trying to tell people what his policies were, and but if it's after 12, I'm not able to do that. And there he was, the signing in and signing out from Delaware, unable to answer simple questions. And of course, he's going to play this game for the next 2 years or so, and it's really quite embarrassing. And anyway, what else has happened this week? We are looking at so many things happening this week. I want to focus on this right now because we've got Justin Trudeau on the ropes with this story. We've got Justin Trudeau on the ropes. We really do. There is a problem, and he cannot distance himself from the Trudeau Foundation. And don't tell me he can. And don't, because it's part of the family. And what do we do, by the way, with this guy, David Johnston, former Governor General, who has now been appointed as Trudeau's special rapporteur in the Chinese election interference issue? What do we do with that? Because guess what? Johnston was a member of the Trudeau Foundation. He is a part of that foundation. So how can he possibly recuse himself from investigating Chinese money in Canadian politics? Because that's what this is all about. It's about Chinese influence, Chinese money in Canadian politics. I'm not going to use the BS word that the Conservative Party is using. They don't want to talk about Chinese money, but they want Beijing, Beijing, Beijing. That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It's Chinese money, Chinese graft, Chinese influence. This is what they're doing. So stop pandering to crap. This is what's going on in this country. And whether you're coming from the conservative side or the liberal side, we have got to call a spade a spade. And China is influencing it. And this story, I woke up this morning reading about this, But I'm going to bed tonight knowing that this could be the story that brings down the Trudeau government. Because where the hell did that money go? They can't answer that question. And this is why we're going back in a circle here, back to this main story. Where did that money go? Where did they get the money from? Because if you read the stories about this, they can't explain where exactly the money comes from. And they did not give it back, as previously explained. This is why all these people are resigning. They did not give the money back because they didn't know who to give it back to. So communist China tried to buy the Trudeau Foundation. Yes, you heard me correctly. Communist China tried to buy the Trudeau Foundation. And it's time to say enough of this BS, enough of this crap, enough of Justin Trudeau, because he knows damn well what's going on here. And don't tell me he doesn't. This is somehow separate. Why would he suddenly come to the defense of his foundation and say it's all lies? It's all conservative lies. Unless he had a stake in all of this. And believe me, he does. So we're going to keep watching Justin Trudeau. We're going to keep watching what he's doing here because believe me, he is very much a part of this. Very much a part of this. I'm just going to take a break for a minute and have you watch. Right, I hope you're enjoying this channel as much as I enjoy putting the material on here. This is not just about politics. I sing some of my favorite songs from the Great American Songbook. And you can also watch my latest show where we do some of the news you're not going to hear anywhere else. But please like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. If you want to be part of this station, please be a subscriber. We want you. And I'm doing this independently, and please support me. Tell me you like this station. Tell me you like what I'm doing, that I'm bringing this stuff to your point. I'm working for the Post-Millennial right now. And I tell you, that's a fantastic media outlet because it not only reports Canadian news, it reports American news, and it is doing a great job of cross-referencing what's going on in this nation. And what's going on is that the same political problems are present. They've got Joe Biden. We've got Justin Trudeau. And I tell you, these are in very, very difficult odds to surmount. But we're going to do it because people like you care for what we're doing. And I think that's more important than anything else. I think that's why we're doing this broadcast every week. I really believe in this broadcast, and I believe in you people. You're not just you people over there. You're my people. And this is what Justin Trudeau, he loves to talk about you people over there because he doesn't represent them. I'm here to represent you, talking about the issues you want to talk about, seeing the politicians you want to see, and exposing what's going on, not just in Ottawa, but across the country. And I'm here to fight for your values, the things that people everywhere used to know and understand. That's what we're here for. So anyway, enjoy yourself. Have a good weekend. I'm going to have a good weekend. My nephew's coming up from Calgary. God bless him. And we're going to have a nice time showing my nephew what Ottawa is all about historically. And I'll tell him probably what Ottawa is all about